Would you risk everything for someone who might betray you? That question haunted me as I crouched behind a crumbling brick wall in Westbridge, my hand resting on the cold steel of my firearm. The call had come in about a break-in, but what I found was much more than a petty thief. A shadow moved across the alley, quick and calculated. I stepped out, my voice firm. Freeze. The figure paused, then bolted. The chase was on. I caught up with him, slamming him against the wall. Drop it. I barked, noticing a small crowbar in his hand. He did. His eyes met mine. He is a sharp, defiant, and far too old for someone his age. You don't know what it's like out here, he muttered. His voice wavered just enough for me to catch the fear behind his bravado. I should have arrested him right then, but something stopped me. Instead, I took the stolen goods, let him go, and reported it as a failed pursuit. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about him. The department's policy was clear: zero tolerance. But there was something about that kid, something desperate, broken, and familiar. At the precinct, I dug into his profile. Jamal Rivers, 17, no prior arrests. Lived with his younger sister in a rundown apartment. Parents? Deceased. Guardian? None. I wasn't supposed to care. But I did. The next time I saw Jamal, it wasn't on duty. I was off shift, grabbing coffee at a corner shop, when I spotted him sitting outside with a little girl, his sister, I guess. I approached, and he stiffened, pulling her closer. Relax, I said. I'm not here to arrest you. What do you want, then? He asked. To talk, I replied. Over the next few minutes, I made him a proposition. You're smart, Jamal. Too smart to waste your life on this. Help me take down the people who keep you trapped here, and I'll make sure you and your sister have a chance at a real future. He laughed bitterly. You think I trust a cop? No, I said. But I'm all you've got. Our first meeting was tense. Jamal led me to an abandoned warehouse where stolen goods were stashed. It was a goldmine of evidence, but as we left, I caught him pocketing a watch. Seriously? I snapped. Old habits, he said with a smirk. I wanted to arrest him on the spot, but I didn't. I couldn't. The more we worked together, the deeper I got. Jamal's intel was sharp, but it came at a cost. My colleagues started asking questions. Why are you spending so much time in Westbridge? One of them asked. I lied, and with every lie, the weight of my badge grew heavier. One night, Jamal gave me a tip about a major drug deal. But when I arrived, the place was empty. No drugs, no suspects, just a message scrawled on the wall, we know. I confronted Jamal, furious. Did you set me up? No, he yelled. They must have found out. I swear I didn't tell them. I didn't know whether to believe him. Days later, Jamal disappeared. I checked his apartment, his usual haunts, yet I found nothing. Finally, I found his sister at a community center. They took him, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. They said he's a snitch. My heart sank. I had dragged him into this, and now he was paying the price. I tracked Jamal to an abandoned building. He was tied up, bloodied but alive. I fought off every instinct to call for backup. This wasn't a sanctioned operation. When I untied him, he looked at me with a mix of relief and anger. Why'd you come? Because I'm not leaving you behind, I said. Word spread fast. The gang put a price on Jamal's head and on mine. My superiors found out I had been working with him off the books. I was suspended, pending an investigation. You're ruining your life for a kid who can't be saved, my captain said. He's not just a kid, I replied. He's a victim. With nowhere else to turn, Jamal and I hatched a desperate plan. We would infiltrate the gang's main operation and gather enough evidence to shut them down for good. Are you sure about this? I asked him. No, he said. But I'm tired of running. The night of the operation was chaos. Jamal played his role perfectly, leading me to the gang's headquarters. But when they realized who I was, all hell broke loose. Gunfire erupted. Jamal shoved me behind cover, taking a bullet in the process. The gang was arrested, their operation dismantled. Jamal survived, but barely. As I sat by his hospital bed, he opened his eyes and said, "You didn't have to do all this." Neither did you, I replied. Jamal and his sister were placed in witness protection, far from Westbridge. I was reinstated but transferred to a different precinct. Every day, I wonder if I made the right choices. Did I save him, or did he save me? The moral lesson of the story is that doing what is right often requires courage, sacrifice, and stepping outside the boundaries of societal norms or personal comfort. Now, I ask you, dear creative cruisers, would you break the rules to do what's right? Let's know in the comments. See you in the next video.